morning, everyone, or whenever you're watching this. I feel called today to do a reading. I don't know about what. I did a morning spread for Instagram today, and there were only fours coming out. So I feel like that's a big energy. I am just gonna see what Spirit has for us. I'm not even sure yet whether I'm going to post this. I'm using the Gilded Tarot. Just gonna see what Spirit has for us. I do feel like there's something to do, like I think we're midway full moon and new moon, and I think we're like, it's also like 3 eclipses happening. The next one is around new moon or on new moon, I believe. Okay, 2 cards are jumping out. And two more actually. Just what the Spirit wants us to know. Do feel like this one? Whew, that's too many. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, Temperance, Knight of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, Hanged Man, Judgment coming out. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee still. Getting actually ready to go to the beach, but I felt cool to, it's gonna be a real nice hot day. It's been cold. I don't know why I'm talking about the weather, it's not interesting. I don't know what to make out of this. There are 3 major arcanas coming out of the 5 cards, and the 3 of Pentacles is sticking out to me, like the collaboration card. And I think, like, usually, like in the classic, like Rider-Waite, this is actually a very fast-moving energy, but it seems to be quite. Yeah, it's ready to go, but it's not rushing, right? It's just like a pumped up energy, I guess, and like moving with wisdom, spirit, like spirit is there, truth is coming out. I feel like, yeah, I feel very like clear energy, and maybe like this is like a collaboration around bringing truth into the world, into our relationships, in the way that we operate in the world, in the way that we manifest ourselves. And then the Temperance, Hanging Man, and Judgment. Somehow this is the order that they're laying in, and I think they could have come out differently. The Judgment card has been coming out upside down lately, and I really like it that it's like we're finally listening to our higher self, listening to and that because we're listening, we're ready to we're ready to pivot, we're ready to move things upside down and look from a different perspective, look at the world with new eyes. And I feel like it's in a very balanced way with the Temperance card, where both the elements of fire and water are transmuted. And I really feel like here, this is like a very healing card at this moment. There's so much healing going on. A lot of people are waking up. And for me, the water really here is the emotions, the feelings, and the fire representing like the purifying, the clearing, the healing fire in which we stand right now. Because healing isn't pretty, like it hurts, and For me, it can literally feel like when I'm purging and when I'm healing, it can literally feel like I'm on fire. Like my feet and my hands will be super hot, and like kind of clammy, and also like the internal heat in my body. I'm like literally hot, burning away everything that's toxic, everything that I no longer need. And it's very purifying water, and it's a kind of like there's a transmutation going on there, like the alchemy. I felt like this is definitely going on. Rainbows, there are a lot of rainbow synchronicities, and rainbows are like a manifestation of fire and water, because it's only a rainbow only manifests when there's sunshine. So light and sun, fire, I mean. And water is like clearly it's the water, it's the raindrops. So when that light is going through those raindrops, then the kaleidoscopic colors of the rainbow become visible, and that is like an alchemic process in itself. And what I like to add here is, of course, too, that the cooling energy of water, related to the moon, is really the feminine qualities of receiving nourishment, healing, cooling down, and the masculine energy of the sun, which is the action and the hotness. And it's really like here, like the collaboration of the masculine and the feminine, transmuting in something that is completely new, that didn't exist before, which looks like a rainbow. I heard a podcast, on Soberish podcast, and there was a guest. Her name is Tiara Pigs, and she had this beautiful story about her son. I would definitely recommend to listen to the podcast, because it's a very, very relevant and very insightful podcast. I related to it a lot personally, but it was such a sweet ending. I don't want to ruin the story, but it is about her son telling about being a rainbow and how everybody can be a rainbow. So I feel like that is like definitely like a metaphor for the harmonizing energies of the qualities of the masculine and the feminine within ourselves, starting to like not just balance but also integrating and working together, right? Okay, that's cool. I really like it how just sometimes like I see these cards and I be like, I don't know what it is, and then suddenly it just kind of comes together. I want to grab an oracle card of the secret language of light. Okay, awakening, yeah, big time. I feel like there are a lot of awakenings going on now. People that are like for the first time waking up, and I feel that for the people that are already waking up for a while and have been doing the healing work, there is like a second awakening, or like a next level awakening. I guess like a next ascension. That's a word that is used. Another expansion. I think that feels better for me. Like just like where your sight, the way that you perceive the world, is kind of widening up, and like you don't know there is more to see if this is all that you see. Like, right? That is like what is available to you, and then suddenly like that becomes even wider. Like I think some people call it like a panoramic field. It just becomes like more becomes visible to you. And I think that's also what it's called for some people, like different dimensions, different levels. But it's still all happening here. It just becomes more rich, I guess, in what you see. You can experience reality in different realities, in different. Yeah, I don't know if I need to go into that right now. Let me take another sip of coffee. I think I kind of want to see how that manifests in that healing, because this feels like a confirming message. Like there's awakening going on, and I guess it has something to do with like the people that have already been working on their awakening. They are here to guide the people that are waking up right now. And in order to do that, and fulfill that calling, we really need to transmute what still needs to be burned within us. But I really like to see like that divine masculine and divine feminine working together. I think that's what I'm going to look at. I'm still going to use the gilded. Maybe clarify a little bit with the Rider-Waite later. Define what is the I'm just showing it. I wasn't ready yet. 4 of Swords in reverse. It's an awakening. So it's actually the message of today was to rest, and this is showing coming out of a retreat mode. Just gonna put it back. Just see what the energy of the divine feminine is now, what she is working on, and what is blocking her. And I will do the same for the divine masculine. The divine feminine is calling out to me first somehow. What is the current energy of the divine feminine? This one. What is she working on right now? Tao. And how is she challenged? How is she challenged? Ooh, too many. Ooh, I don't know. That's a lot of... Yeah, there we go. And then do the same for the masculine. What is the divine masculine's current energy? Divine masculine's current energy. And what is he working on right now? What is he working on right now? Oops, whoa, that one flying out. And how is he challenged? How is he challenged? I'm saying he and her, but it's really without gender. I mean, these are energies that we each hold. Okay, cool. Divine feminine, come out of retreats. This is so funny. It was coming out. So she is working on her current energy. Is she may have been in retreat a little bit and working on the self-healing. I feel like that the self-healing looked like the judgment from kind of like maybe some resistance or self-defeating programming or self-sabotaging negative self-talk. That is the healing part, and that withheld her from hearing or listening her calling. And that one is upside down now. And now this one, I mean upside down, is right side up. And now it's this way up, and that transmuting is happening, or that healing process is happening. It's time to come out. It's time to come out in the world. And I feel like the divine feminine is super scared because she feels like those swords directed to her, right? Like there's maybe a tendency to close off the heart, although like she's been working really hard in opening up that area, because she can still kind of, the programming is still present, and like there may still be like a risk or something that may she's still holding the fear of being her. She still sees that potential. We have seen the 3 of Swords coming up lately in the readings, so it may also be like these are literally 3 swords, right? So it's like maybe like still like the trauma is still present in her mindset. And then she is working currently on devil energy, and devil energy are illusions, and they may also be the habits that are holding us back from truly stepping into our purpose, into the calling, and co-create with universe. And she's working with this in awareness. So these may also be like, that's the programming that is withholding us, is blindsiding us from truly feeling like we are in the driver's seat of our lives. It's something that I mentioned in my daily spread as well. So she's coming, it's not that it's just gone, the illusions or the way that we feel maybe that we are not in control of our lives, that the devil was playing with us, and perhaps some sort of victim mentality as well. So I think that's tied to those three swords here, like still working on that. But while coming out of that retreat, it's in a state of awareness that she's working with it. So it's present, but not any longer controlling her. And death in reverse. Wow, these are some major arcanas coming out here. The challenge is really allow that rebirth coming in. We are not going to change who we are. It's rather becoming closer to who we truly are, who we've always been, but haven't recognized that as such. And the challenge for the Divine Feminine is to really allow that. And I think that is still like that. There's a bit of fear. I really actually feel like my root chakra kind of closing up. Carnelian is here to support that. There's a resistance to a new template for us coming in, the new foundations that we are actively part of laying new foundation of our world, of how our lives are going to look like. And there's the death is the death of the stories that we have been operating in, all the beliefs that we had to the beliefs that personally I have had, I've been doing a lot of people pleasing because and it was even people pleasing of my own projections. So my actions and my decisions were based on what I believed that other people expected of me, and I felt the need to be fulfilling that projection that I imagined that they had about me in order not to look like a fake, like a fraud. I was super afraid of that. So that is for me what is representing in the devil, and that is also connected to all the self-sabotaging behaviors of locking yourself up, eating unhealthy food to comfort yourself, being too harsh to people, being too quiet when you need to speak up. It's all those things. So she's actively working with that, and the challenge in that is to really let those go, because there may be still some sort of attachment to the identity, but it's time to let those part of us they need to be burned, right? That's the healing that is there for us. So I'm gonna put it upside, the right way up. We're ready for this. But thank you for showing up that this is a challenge. For the Divine Masculine, another major arcana, the Chariot. And then this one, that's where he is right now. So he's ready to move forward. It's funny, that the Divine Masculine is ready to move forward, and the Divine Feminine needs this nudge to come out and move forward. Whoa, another. Oh, I don't know. Huh. Which one came out first? So I think this is what he is working on currently, the Three of Cups. So I think also the Divine Masculine has been going through major healing, that's what we see here, and awakening. And he's ready to move forward, but he's working on coming together, probably with friends, family, soul tribe, soul family, in a fulfilled way, in a way that is no longer codependent and no longer looking for validation from those relationships. So perhaps like if there have been troubles in any sort of relationships, that people like fights or people walking away from you, there seems to be like a new energy around relationships. So new relationships or old ones that become more joyful and more like a celebration, and even can be some sort of like confirmation that people recognize the transformation that you've been going through. So there's maybe some sort of validation there, but you don't longer need it. I really like, by the way, that there's another 3 with the 3 of Pentacles. So also I feel like the Divine Masculine is ready to collaborate. I do feel always a little bit... Sorry, I'm talking and drinking coffee at the same time. I always feel with this card a little bit, there's still some sort of like a distractive energy. Like it's ready to move forward, but still kind of... Can you see that? She focusing on that. She is looking a little bit sideways, and in many Chariot cards, you can see how the Sphinx are going different directions, and actually these are like a little bit like they even like seem to go into the same direction, but possibly colliding. I don't know about them. And I really like it. Like there's just another 3, like really like the working together, but there's still a part that's not completely engaged yet. And the Magician as challenge. So I have a feeling that although the masculine is ready to move forward and to collaborate and step into in community and soul tribe and soul family. I don't know why I'm holding this all the way like this. It feels like the most exhausting way to hold a card. So I think like maybe like the masculine is doing too much, puts too much of an effort to something that actually comes naturally towards you. So actually like a manifestation problem. I like that, a manifestation problem. Maybe trying to force to create those connections, and you have the magic within you and you recognize that, but somehow something is too forceful, and that is why it's not working. I mean, the Magician is the right way up, so I feel like it's not a very manipulative, whoa, weird word, energy. But there is something, because it comes up as a challenge, it is like you're ready, but it's not manifesting yet. Yeah, it's funny too, because the way that it's look like the spread is on the table. This lady is actually looking at the Divine Feminine. Like, what's going on there? So the Divine Masculine is maybe waiting for the Divine Feminine to come out, and he is having a trouble to manifest that for himself. Maybe there's some sort of there's some sort of insecurity, I think. I want to pull one more card to see what will support the Divine Feminine in her challenging energy around letting go of devil energy and stepping into that letting go and rebirth energy with the Death card. For the Divine Masculine, what is he waiting for, right? Like he has all the power he needs. He has all the suits in front of him, so he's ready to manifest. But there's like this insecurity. So what energy helps him to not be waiting on a feminine, but be more ready to go? Because this card shows too, like he doesn't need the validation any longer. So supporting energy for Divine Feminine first. What energy helps the Divine Feminine? So like this one wants to come out. Wheel of Fortune. I am amazed with how many major arcanas we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12 are major arcanas, major energies. I feel like that's also the reason why I felt called to do a reading. There's a lot of, like, it feels like a window of opportunity for us to really make a shift and really do a lot of work that we have been preparing ourselves to be doing already for a long time. So the supporting energy is it feels a little bit like universe is saying, just get over yourself and just move on. Change this, like it's time to change the chapter and to close, like the wheel is turning. Make sure that you're on board with it. It's happening either way, and better be prepared than that the new chapter is starting and you're lagging behind. So it's a little bit, it feels a little bit firm, like a firm message. Just like, yeah, do your homework. And beautiful things are starting, right? Like there's a whole new chapter starting. And for the Divine Masculine, what will support the Divine Masculine to move forward with trust? Divine Masculine, what is the supporting energy for the Divine Masculine? Whew. Yeah, even the cards feel a little bit insecure. Divine Masculine. Whoopa, this one is flipping. Knight of Cups. Bring love. Bring love to himself and show show the love that you have. Show it to the world, and that will, instead of waiting for others to reach out to you first, it is you are pushed by universe to make the first move, and make sure that move is coming not to how do you say that? It should really come from your heart and not from a place where you are trying to get a reaction from the people around you. Not to yeah, I feel like a little bit like there may be a tendency to want to like have a good plan, like a strategy. So like you're thinking about, okay, if I do first this and then I say that, and then this person will react in this way, and if the person reacts in such and such a way, I will do this. And then if that person reacts in the right way, I'll be showing what I have to offer, which is plenty and celebration, community and fulfillment, moving onward. But you need to be the first one. Don't wait for others, and just be open and just place it on the table. Offer it up, and let other people be free, have their own agency to pick up what they have to offer or not. And this is what we have learned, that it's maybe scary. It maybe feels like people are abandoning us or rejecting us if they don't pick up what we offer. But instead, we have learned in the last period or a year or wherever you are, is that it doesn't say something about you, it says something about them, and not to kind of blame, push the blame towards others. There is no blame here. It just shows you there is no match, that their desires are different from your desires. So it actually helps you to be, when you're really truthful from your heart and somebody is not resonating with that, instead of trying to force the other one out of like guilt or obligation, or if the other one is operating from guilt and obligation, then you're getting a very straining and stressful perhaps and draining and exhausting dynamic between the two of you, because you're not operating from your authentic self. And this is what we have been learning to really learn to open our hearts and really speak from our hearts, and that's how we show up for ourselves, and that's the only way that we can be happy, and that's also what we need to be allowing other people to do. So be the first to make that move. Okay, we're in half an hour now. I think this is I really like this. I think I'm gonna post it. Obviously, if you see this, I have posted it. Okay, wish you a wonderful day. I'm gonna go to the beach. See you next time. Bye.